As we look ahead, as 2024 kicks off, be sure to stay tuned as the Council on Rail turns to work on implementing AASHTO's President, Secretary Craig Thompson's new emphasis areas. Secretary Thompson from Wisconsin, as you all may know, his three emphasis areas in his tenure as president with AASHTO include realizing the promises of the IIJA, or the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, bolstering transportation safety, and very importantly, reinvigorating and continuing the important development of our transportation workforce, both within state DOTs, along with our partner agencies, FRA, USDOT, and I know many of you all are facing many of those same challenges that we have at state DOTs in terms of attracting and maintaining the workforce that we need to deliver the transportation system of the future. During the year, the Council will continue to focus on many of the accomplishments I've just noted and provide webinars and virtual events on topics such as workforce development and rail safety, and we look forward to continued engagement with stakeholders on the Hill. States are also working hard to implement available funds through the IIJA and FRA's discretionary grant program. Many of those were recently announced, and in the latter part of 2023, FRA and USDOT announced grant awards touching nearly all states, and a total amount of investment for the most recently announced round of grants totals roughly $27 billion. And this includes $8.2 billion for the Federal Rail Safety Partnership for Intercity Rail National Grant Program, $16.4 billion for the Northeast Corridor Grant Program, and $34.5 million for the Corridor Identification and Development Program. This equates to over 69 planning projects in 44 states, 10 major passenger rail projects nationally, and 25 projects along the Northeast Corridor. Amid historic funding levels and efforts to recover from the pandemic and ongoing economic challenges, it's really an important time for us to continue the progress that we've been able to achieve in our industry in partnership with USDOT and FRA in implementing the funding resources the historic funding resources that came through the IIJA program. And it's a pivotal moment now for us to focus on assessing and evaluating the outcomes that we've seen to date in that implementation, and talking about and communicating these accomplishments along with opportunities and challenges. And that's going to be a focus of a lot of what you all are going to hear today in our conversations is where were those successes, where are there more opportunities, and where are there challenges for us to maybe work together to try to overcome to better deliver on the promise of the IIJA. So thank you all very much for not only being here, but for your partnership and commitment going forward on this.
I'm here to talk about some of the big picture things happening at the association-wide level since the last court meeting in San Diego in the fall of 2023. What we're really focusing on is that the IIJA can't be a one-time shot in the arm. It has to be the new standard going forward. And Chair Williams also mentioned this reauthorization process, and we are starting to, begin that marathon, believe it or not, next week as part of the AASHTO Washington briefing to start setting, I think, kind of the expectations of what we want to see, obviously in terms of policy, but also in terms of funding as well, because, the IIJA really was unique in getting such substantial general fund commitment in the form of advance appropriations that is not subject to the annual whims of, Congress through its annual appropriations process. So it had the stability of what you'd expect from, say, the Highway Trust Fund for a multi-year basis. And that really, I think, has made such a difference, especially for programs funded outside of the Highway Trust Fund. We want to make sure that momentum continues, that we're able to make the justification for continuing that support from Congress in the next go-around. There is also obviously key focus and continued focus on safety that President Thompson is calling for. It really is just unacceptable what we're seeing in terms of fatalities and serious injuries on our transportation system. And at the AASHTO annual meeting in Indianapolis in November, the board of directors of AASHTO, so all the state DOT CEOs, including Chair Williams, really looked to resolutely and firmly renew state DOT's commitment to connecting places and communities with a transportation system that is free of fatalities and serious injuries by passing a safety resolution, which then, was about 3 weeks after a very highly successful and also oversubscribed safety summit in Kansas City that preceded it. And as Chair Williams noted, the deliverables out of the safety resolution from the AASHTO board is really kind of outlined in this safety action plan. And we are absolutely seeking from all 30 of the AASHTO modal councils, the Special Committee on Freight, all the committees across the board, a firm commitment. Make some sort of action this year that would, tangibly improve safety based on what the council and committee is looking to do. But the safety action plan is also looking to promote, sharing of best practices, tools, and policies among states around the country, promote a coordinated and consistent data-driven decision-making approach to safety throughout the project lifecycle, really prioritize resources that need to be developed by certainly AASHTO, but others in the industry to assist all of the state DOTs in really institutionalizing safety. Identifying actions for AASHTO councils and committees to undertake individually or jointly, and that's kind of the spirit of this challenge that's been laid out for every committee to take that at least one action. And then also establishing new partnerships to further promote a culture of safety. And then the third plank from President Thompson is on workforce, because state DOT is going through what everybody's going through here, reaching retirement age. Newer employees are staying for shorter tenures, and this is all happening in a context where everybody's looking for the best candidates, while the impact of technology and the reach of technology on the workforce is ever evolving. And so what President Thompson is calling for is to really, I think, address the workforce challenges with the kind of urgency that we're seeing on the safety front as well.